now you won't even get it to start because we've taken the key out of it. So if you've got something that you are planning to use the bandsaw on, come up with a secondary plan. Our annual KCWT picnic will be on June 18th. That's coming right around the corner. It's at Shawnee Mission Park. Let's see, it is shelter number 6. It's right off the lake. Even on a hot day, we get a cool breeze on there. Very, very pleasant place to have a nice picnic. It's a potluck lunch. If you'll bring a side or a dessert, the club will provide the burgers and dogs and some condiments to go with it. We've always had plenty of food, so come and enjoy. Bring your own drinks if you can remember. We don't bring a bunch of drinks or anything there, but usually there's some extras if you happen to forget. No alcohol in the park. I think that's a park rule. So when I say bring your drinks, soft drinks, water is probably best. If anybody here has a idea or has a project that they'd like to demo, please see Mike. Mike's always looking for new demonstrations for the monthly meetings, and always happy to talk to anybody, even if it's a quick project or something a little lengthy that you can scale down to about an hour presentation. That would be great. Let's see, upcoming events. We were going to be at the Irish Festival. We've got signed up. We've got a table. I believe, Sean, am I correct in saying that the sign up Genius is already up for the? Usually in the under $40 range is what, so anywhere from $5 to $40, it'd be kind of the range that we'd be looking at. That's the things that sell well. But every now and then some bigger items do sell. People really enjoy us at that show. What else is coming up is I am, with the board's help, trying to put together a mini symposium on Sunday, May 22nd. It'll run from about 1 till 4 p.m. is what I've put down. It depends on how many interested members that we get, but it's going to be basically 4 lays with different projects going on, and it's geared towards people with maybe beginners or intermediate and want to see some different projects go through the process and have the opportunity to ask the demonstrator questions without wondering if they're imposing while they're doing it. That's the whole idea, is the demonstrator is just going to sit there, do his thing, her thing, and let the people ask questions as they're doing it so that they can get an idea of the process that they're going through to complete that project. Let's see, we got some upcoming out of town events. Oh, there's also going to be a future garage sale. Nothing's been set, no date's been put on there, but we will be looking for some donations and probably some help. Any decent tools or chucks or any kind of lathe-oriented items that you don't use or will never use, and consider donating them to the club to sell at the garage sale that will be in the future, probably in the fall type period. Let's see. We need some help. We need members to help Jack out with the AV and to help learn the AV system. Jack, go ahead and stand up again. This is Jack. Jack has ran our AV and helped us out and kept us valid during the pandemic with Zoom meetings and everything for many years now. And he needs some help. He needs some backup. He needs an opportunity to be able to miss a meeting every now and then. So I really implore you, if you have any knowledge of that or a desire to learn that, or just want to help out the club, talk to Jack. He needs some backup. So please consider that. Let's see, locating information on the website or for our club. The first place to go is the website, kcwoodturners.org. It should have, if you go down the right column in the website, you can find about any of the pertinent information of anything that's coming up anytime soon. There's also calendar, members list. There's all kinds of information to be found, as well as links to other things that we've done. So that being said, if let's see, oh, we also got the wood chips comes out every month. Sean puts in any kind of pertinent information for that month. And if you have any other questions, just ask a board member and we'd be happy to assist or answer your questions. I forgot to ask, but I'm going to do it right now. How many visitors do we got tonight? New member? New member. Okay. Let me get the visitors here. Sir. From California? All right. All the way from California, come in and see our meeting. He probably came in to see Don. Brett dragged him to the meeting, but that's okay. We're glad to see you. Sir? Okay. Okay, you heard him. If you've got a need for some wood chunks, talk to him. He'll set you up. So, and turning. All right, all right. Well, this is a fun little demo that we got. Unfortunately, I didn't have Effie put together a safety minute this month because I put together a safety minute and I may be too embarrassed to come out after the demonstration. So we'll get to that here in a little bit. I did want to let you know of some upcoming out of town events, such as Turn On Chicago is going to be happening in August, latter part of July. Oh, here we go. Okay, so the AAW Symposium is in Chattanooga, Tennessee this year in June. Turn On Chicago is happening in July. And SWAT, which is a Texas turning event, is going to be happening in August in Waco, Texas. So you all, any members that are going to any of those events, take notes, because we may ask you to give us a rundown of what you saw when you were there, just to spark some interest in some of the members that have never been to anything like that. So just something to think about. That being said, okay, so I blew the club's media budget this month and created a safety video. You guys are going to have to suffer through it before we get to the demonstration. Keep in mind that I have a lot of fun, but there's some serious things being said there. So try to get beyond the silliness and understand the message that's being trying to be told there. That being said, let's go to the video.
you okay, Chris?
I caught a splinter in the shop. I was wondering if you could help me out.
Oh, yeah, come on. Let's see. Let me help you. Let's see. Ooh, okay. Well, there's no bleeding, so that's good. Let's get that. All right. Just gonna have a look. Okay.
Do I need to go to the doctor?
Probably not just yet.
It hurts.
Okay. So when was your last tetanus shot? Do you remember? Has it been more than 10 years?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. We might need to get another one for you. I'm going to get this out and then you call your doctor, okay? See if you need another one. Is there any bleeding?
Just a little.
Okay.
You have a Band-Aid?
Yeah, why don't you go wash your hand and then I'll get a Band-Aid on there for you.
Okay.
Okay, Chris, good job.
It's much better now. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, Chris, what happened?
Oh, I was turning the bowl and the sharp edge cut my hand.
Oh, no. Okay. Come have a seat. Let me help you out here. I'm going to get some gloves on first since it looks like you got a pretty good cut there.
It doesn't hurt as bad as the splinter, but it bleeds pretty good.
Yeah, it's bleeding pretty good. All right. Have your hand on this. I'm going to get this bleeding controlled right off the bat here, okay?
Yeah.
Are you on any blood thinners or aspirin?
No, I don't think it has.
Okay. I don't see any spurting. It looks like it's just a surface wound. I'm going to have us, we're going to hold this for about 5 minutes here, make sure it's nice and controlled.
Okay.
Well, it looks like it's been 5 minutes and you're still bleeding.
Yeah, it's soaked up in the pad.
Okay, so rather than removing that, we're going to pack on top of it because there's clot forming underneath and we don't want to disturb any clot that's formed under there. Okay.
So just keep pressure.
Keep pressure. We're going to pressure like you're real big. We're going to hold pressure for another 5 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay, I'm going to take a little check here. It looks like it's stopped.
I don't know.
Oh, no. It's spurting. That looks like it might be an arterial bleed.
What's that mean?
Okay. Means we need to apply direct pressure. And we might need to get some hemostatic agent there if we can't get it stopped. So,
Feeling a little lightheaded.
so what we're going to take the sharp. So we're going to hold pressure. We want to stop bleeding at the artery. So the artery, we want to compress against the bone. Okay.
Okay.
Artery is right up here. This is the radial artery. So we're going to hold solid pressure. And what we're going to do, instead of just holding pressure with our fingers, we want to really get some good pressure behind that. Okay.
Okay.
So just kind of lean like with your whole body on it. We're going to stand like this for about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll check and see if we've got the bleeding control. Okay, I'm just gonna clean this up a little bit. It looks like we've got it controlled. I don't see any more oozing. Are you still feeling lightheaded?
I'm feeling better now. since
Feeling
the
better?
blood's not pumping out.
Okay, good. Let's do one more gauze to it, and then we're gonna wrap it up with some propane wrap, okay?
What's Cobain wrap?
It's the dress, it's the wrap we're gonna put on here. I'll show you. For you,
Oh, pink.
we're gonna do this.
Wonderful.
All right. So you're gonna start. You want it snug, but not too tight. So you want to be able to get one finger underneath it. And then you're gonna wrap towards the body, okay? So snug, but not overly tight. How's it feel?
Feels,
Feel okay?
yeah, feels okay.
All right. So this sticks to itself, so we don't need anything else. No dizziness or lightheadedness?
I don't know if I should drive.
Yeah, I don't think we want you driving with an artery bleed like that. It looks like it's controlled now, but I think we need to get you somewhere so they can have a look at it, maybe give you a tetanus shot. Did you fill out the club release form?
I did. It's got my emergency contacts on there. too.
Okay, perfect. We'll get a hold of that and we'll call when we need to call, okay?
Thanks, Wendy.
Hey, Chris, what happened?
Have a good day. I got a catch in a bowl and it sheared off the tendon and hit me in the head. Pretty good.
Oh, did you lose consciousness?
No, I never lost consciousness.
No. Well, why don't you come lay down? Let's do an assessment and see how you're doing.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Chris. So you didn't lose consciousness when the bolt flew off.
No,
No. You remember everything that happened?
yeah,
Okay. Are you having a headache right now?
no, but it's sore where it hit.
Yeah. Any memory loss? Do you remember what today's date is?
Yes,
Yeah.
today's Thursday.
Okay. Do you remember what year it is?
Yes, it's 2022.
Okay. All right. Do you feel nauseous?
No,
No?
I think I'm okay.
Okay. You seeing any spots or dots or double vision or blurred vision?
No, it all looks okay.
Okay. I'm gonna get in the first aid kit. I want to take a look at your pupils, okay? I've got a little light I'm gonna shine in your pupils here, okay?
Okay,
Okay, they look equal. They're both reacting to light, so that's a good thing. We're gonna get some documentation going here. And I'm gonna get our book that covers what to do with a concussion, okay?
and it's in the first aid kit?
It's in the first aid kit.
Okay.
So, all right. And do you have any allergies?
No,
Okay. You take any medication?
no,
Okay. So this is about 8 o'clock on Thursday. Got hit in the head. Didn't pass out. All right. And did you fill out a Kansas City Woodturner contact form?
Yes, it's on the waiver that I've filled out.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So let's talk about this for a minute.
Okay.
Had a bad day for you at the wood shop today.
I'll tell you what, I can't catch a break, but I feel good. I think I'm fine. But what if I had lost consciousness?
So if you had lost consciousness for any amount of time, even a couple of seconds, that's a sign that you could have a concussion. And that could be something that can get worse over time. So it's something that we would need to have checked out. We would need to get you to the hospital, an emergency room, so they can do a CT scan, make sure there's
asked to understand if they had memory loss.
So memory loss, you can ask the year, the day. You can give them 3 things to remember. You know, ball, cat, bike, and give them a couple minutes and then see if they can say it back to you. You can ask them their address or, you know, their wife's name, their dog's name, you know, anything like that. Something that's familiar that they should be able to recall.
What kind of vision changes would I be looking for? Stars or
Yeah, so sometimes.
cross-eyed?
So spots, dots, double vision. You hear it called stars a lot. What I was looking at your eyes, if there's intracranial pressure changes, you can have pressure on one eye and not the other. So I'm looking at the pupils. Are they the same size? Do they react and dilate when there's light on them? If your pupils are clearly, one is dilated and one is constricted, normal size, you've got a concussion. It's an emergency. We need to get you to our hospital right away.
Okay, so
And it's not something that we can have somebody else drive. You need medical attention all the way there.
so if I've had any of these 6 items that were listed, I should probably be seeking medical help and probably have help getting there.
Yeah, if you have any of these things, we need to call EMS, because what happens if you pass out and your buddy's driving you? Does he train to take care of you? Does he know what to do? Does he know where the closest hospital is?
So
That's why we need EMS.
EMS is the best solution.
It is. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate all your help today, Wendy. I'm hoping the next day in the shop goes a little bit better.
Hoping to.
All right, thank you. I'd like to thank you guys for taking the time to watch our video. We had fun putting it together, but safety is a serious matter. We hope that by reminding you what to do, it will give you some more confidence in the event of an accident, or if you're in the shop and somebody else has an accident. Always err on the side of caution. Thank you.
So as you can see, Wendy goes instantly into nurse mode. So she is total nurse when she starts talking about what you do. I never thought about the fact that I could be driving somebody to the hospital and they could pass out on me. And then what do I do? You know, that was kind of some of those points. That's what I hope you pulled out of that video, other than the goofiness that I was portraying there. There's some serious things to consider there when somebody's hurt. You know, one of the things we were talking about, and I got to get off this subject, but one of the things we talked about was, well, what if somebody argues with you about, no, I'm good to drive? Be careful with that. I mean, if you think there's a concern, make sure that that person understands that concern and that you're concerned for them. And if we need to call an emergency, if we need to call an ambulance or something here, let's do that. Let's err on the side of caution. That's true. We got medical supplies now right across the street, so they could probably get here within seconds. I would hope. So that was my safety minute. I apologize, and I know you'll want Effie back next month. So we'll get on to our demonstration. Larry is going to run us through some painting techniques on platters that he uses that I think is just gorgeous. So without further ado, I'm going to fade into the audience and I will pick up questions that you might have. So hold up your hand and I'll run over with the mic so the folks on the Zoom call and the video will get a good recording of the questions.
Hey, when I get to the turning, do you want to do it?
No.
See if you got another bad day.
I just got over the cut and the bump.
All right. All right. Well, question for anybody. Is anybody on the feds, chasing by the feds or on the Witness Protection Agency? Because we're going to get something here. All right. Everybody say Chris. There we go. All right. Well, before we get started, I was just going to introduce this little sickness that I've got. Kevin, a few years back, asked me to turn something when we did that auction little piece there. And I had no idea what to turn. So I was going through YouTube and came up with this guy from Britain that was doing this painting. I'm like, well, that looks like anybody can do it. So I went ahead and tried it. And sure enough, it's not that hard. And I'm going to pass around one of these right here. That's what that's the final piece, what we're going to come out with. But what we're going to do is we're going to start, and this is just, I got this from the Urban Woodsman a couple years back. It's just a plank, usually 4 quarters, 6 quarters, whatever you can get. And Jack, can you go to picture 1 there? Let's see what we got here. On the blank, I try to rough it out round with the bandsaw or whatever I've got handy. And the way my chucking method is, I'll do a screw chuck. And the reason for the screw chuck is it also gives me my depth of when I go through to turn the center out. I don't go through the bottom and make a funnel. So every piece I get prepped up is a screw chuck hole, and I mount it to the lathe with that. Turn the backside first, put a recess in there to chuck it up on the other side. Once you get that done, that's about the biggest part of the turning you're going to do until you get to the very end. You get it mounted up. What I like to use, get that done, mix sanding a breeze on this on both sides. Get that all taken care of. The paint I'm using, I start off with a black lacquer because this paint from Golden, it's called interference paint. I don't know if you can get a picture of that, Effie. Oh, that's it. It's got to be used with a dark background because it activates the color in it, because it all comes out white. It's got like a white tint. I mix it up a lot in the larger quantities because it's cheaper. If you're going to be doing a lot of it, you get you a bottle of the pouring medium. And the lady at the Blick Art is where I get it. She said, if you're going to put lacquer over it, it doesn't matter. You can get matte or gloss. They've got it in all different types. It's going to turn out gloss when you put the lacquer over the top of it. We'll get going here with the black lacquer. The other item you're going to need, you might go into your wife's cabinet and grab her hairdryer. Don't ruin it for her, but just go ahead and have it on handy. Let's see. We got this thing working here. All right. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, that's it. And that's all it takes for that right there. The one thing they said when you're doing this is don't get it too close because you'll bubble that paint, you'll bake it. You just want to accelerate the drying time. A little bit more. All right. And that right there is pretty much dry to the touch. It's a little tacky, but that's all you're going to need right there. What's that again? It's not going to really matter too much because you're just going to be layering on top of it. And as long as you're not, if you touch it and you're not getting anything on your fingers, it's not going to bleed through.
Test.
Anybody else have any questions so far? All right. Now, this gold paint, the lady at the Blick warned me about it. She goes, be gentle with it. And I, not knowing any better, I didn't listen. Did you listen in demos, Jerry? No. And in picture number 6, when we get around to it, you'll see what happens when you put too much gold paint on it. It turns pretty gaudy looking. Yeah, number 6, that purple, and see when you put purple with it, it also makes it look kind of gaudy. No. You can see, that gold really stands out, and it almost overshadows everything else that you put out on there. So the lady was saying what she said was true about just being gentle with it. Don't go overboard.
Yes. Not yet. We did it at 7 o'clock.
Oh, somebody
We did it at 7, a little after 7.
speaking from beyond there. Now, if you're going to mix these together, I mixed it a little bit stronger than one part of the paint, which I get them in the tube like that, 1 to 2 parts of the pouring medium. And you might get it to where it's just a little bit, you want it to be able to cling, but you don't want it running. Let's see here. And this is the actual paint that we're going to apply to the black background. Yeah. Well, it's got individual. Yeah, I've got little. Yeah, most of those places will carry it. But Effie, if you can tell, there's no color to it other than just a little pearlescent. And then, well, you got to make sure it's the interference brand or style. Because if you don't, I mean, there's other different brand or styles, but they don't really pop like this stuff does here. All right. Three parts of the, well, I've got them each separated. And then what I'm going to do, yeah. Let's see here. See, now that one there is just a little runny. And when you go from paint to paint, there's the one where that's the consistency there. When you go paint to paint, don't bother cleaning the brush out. It's not going to matter. All right. And if you thought this was difficult, yeah, this is what you're going to use. This is your best friend. There's nothing to it. Even somebody that went to Texas Tech can do it. I'm just saying. Oop. Get that off of there. Yeah, yeah. You're just going to cover it. And then here's the hard part. What you're going to do is you're going to drag that saran wrap and don't worry about if you got some missing spots that you can't get, because we're going to show you how to blend and you take that paint that's on there, and let's see the little spot there. You're going to come in there and just dab it. And the key to this paint job, you want it as thinly put on there as possible, because if you get too much overlap, it's not going to dry the color. It's going to be white. It'll remain that color. And the longer you let it dry, if you're in a quick hurry, do it with the hair dryer. But if you've got time to let it sit overnight, the colors get a little deeper and richer. So they say it's best if you can wait, but you know, if you're in a hurry, somebody's hounding you, they need it for something, it's not a problem to do it with the hair dryer. Now you can tell, Effie, I don't know if you can pan in right there real quick. You can see that that spot there was where it got a little bit too heavy, and it's got that real white. If it's in the middle, you're going to be turning that out, so that's not so much of a problem. But yeah, if you can avoid getting it too thick, you'll be far better off. All right. Then your next step will make the colors get a little bit brighter. You take the lacquer, and I usually put 3 to 4 coats on it. And the longer it dries, you're better off. But, you know, in the case of a demo and time crunch. Oh, you're off of there. What's that? Anybody have any questions while we're waiting for this to dry a little bit? What's that again? That's clear. Yeah. The paint, I use golden. It's golden interference. There's some other ones that they sell over in Great Britain. I forget what they're ganja. Like what's that? Sonia, yeah, Jasonia. But Golden is right, right down the street on Main. You can go to Blick. And I've gotten the same results with them as what they use. Well, the interference, I've only seen the primaries with that. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of different, like fancy color. I mean, you can probably mix your own if you want to come up with a different one. But it's got there's a green, blue, a violet, gold, red, and I think there might have been one other one, but I've just stuck with this. Yes, that's correct. I'll pass that around and you can. And it's kind of the consistency of, oh gosh, almost like a heavy milk or yogurt or something along those lines. No. Here, I'll pass that. That's the, and that's almost like a heavy toothpaste. Yeah, on that bottle this size, I put one of those tubes and probably about up to about halfway of the pouring medium. They've already pre-mixed that. But when you talk about cost, those little bottles there are like $4. And you can get that for, I think, 7 or 8, but you'll get more in, 3 or 4 times what that one is. If you're going to be doing quite a bit of it, they say it's more economical to do the tube. What's that? Yeah. It's a little bit thicker, so you can thin it down or, however you want it.
Larry, I can't catch the questions fast enough, so can you repeat them?
What's that?
When they ask a question, can you repeat them?
Sure. You were talking about the paint. If it's it's an acrylic, yes, it's that's all acrylic paint. So I mean, it's easy to clean up on it. See where we're at here. Yeah, we're getting pretty good there. Sure. You want me to touch it while it's spinning? That's what you're getting. Oh, let's see. That's what we're getting at right now. Yeah, it'll change. It gets a little darker to change color. Not very long. From start to finish, I'm usually done with one in a little over an hour before. I mean, that's with the turning time. But the more you put lacquer on it, it really makes it stick out. Yeah, yeah. It's gloss also, but you don't need a gloss. You just need the background just needs to be a dark black. I haven't tried it with any other color, but a lot of them are just black. I guess if you had like a navy blue, like a royal blue, maybe it might not work. You could possibly use purple. The thing is, you don't want to get this stuck in one spot too long. That's why I have it moving, because you'll bubble up that lacquer on it. Extra texture, I guess, if you want to go that route. Was there a question? The moisture, I haven't had any issue because most everything I've been turning has been either kiln dried, or this piece here sat in the garage for over 2 years, and it was pretty well dry when I put it on there. We've got probably one more coat, and then we're gonna get to the fun stuff you all came to see. Don't want to insult anybody's turning, but it's very easy. And one other thing you might do is make sure you cover your lathe, unless you want black spray paint on the bottom of the bed. I tried that, doesn't work too well. What's that again? No, the wood doesn't matter. Just, I use cherry, and then this hackberry. Cherry turns out real well. I mean, it's just whatever you've got handy. There we go. That's going to be probably the what paint now? The pour? Well, it's the way that it's got to be able to pop, you know, with that, react with the black background. Yeah, the interference is just the style of acrylic. Yeah, because I've tried iridescent. I bought the iridescent paint, and the iridescent paint doesn't work like this one here does. It's a whole different. And like you said, that, I mean, there's different paint brand companies that make that same interference, but that's just the style of the acrylic that they're using. No, I mean, as long as it's the same style of acrylic, you can go ahead and use it. And that's where we're at so far, Effie, if you want to get a picture of that, where we're at. All right. Any questions so far? I mean, is anybody confused or lost or need a little help? All right. Well, there's one person in particular I know. He's always got a question. All right. Now we're going to get to the fun stuff. In the video I was watching, the guy always said, like, if you see, Jack, can you pull up one of the like the picture number 5, I think it is. Oh, I'm sorry, 7. I mean, he was British, and I really can't. I couldn't give you his name. He's about this big and bald. Now, this one here is a spinning top that I did for one of our deals here. If you can tell, the question you were talking about, the paint, those gold stripes was with the, oh, what do they call that? Oh, the one I just mentioned here, the iridescent. That's the iridescent, and it doesn't show up near as well as that, as the interference. Yes. Yeah, that one there, we did Jerry's technique where we put it in the center and then spun it real fast and then had it shoot out. Now the paint that like I put on here, I did it while it was, you know, just like I did here. Didn't have to, you know, well, with the stem of the you got to kind of play with it a little bit. You can't put it on the faceplate. Jack, can you go to the next picture? You see this, the ring right here, the outer ring? The guy that was doing the demo, he said it's best to put something like that in there in case when you're doing the bowl and you get a run on it, because it'll stop basically about where that ring is. That's my idiot proof factor there, you know, when you're not used to doing it. So we're going to get going here on this. Purple. Yeah, that was the only two colors I used on that one. There might be a little violet mixed in, but I did one for the Irish Festival with just green and gold. You thought it might work, but gold will overshadow and kind of take away. Oh yeah. Yeah, just, you gotta be real gentle with it because it will overtake the whole thing. On the outside here, what I like to do, you kind of see it a little bit there. This kind of shows the wood. That way you're not completely black, kind of gives it something to look for. And then we're going to turn around and put those two rings in. Best thing for a skew. All right. Those two there will give you just your border of what you're trying to do with it. As you can see, I've gotten down to where my screw chuck went down to the bottom. So right then and there, I won't bore you with the sanding process, but that's when you go do your sanding. Take and put that on there, spray your lacquer on or whatever finish you're going to use. And you're going to be just about where you're at. Now you see, I put two rings on there when I started and I got it down to the one because it skated back on me just a hair. So then you still have your one border, you got your little area there, and then you're turning in the middle there for your platter. So that's about where we're at right there. I'll pass this around. It's got a little bit of rough edges. I would go back in with time and hit that edge with a little bit of sandpaper, try to clean up those, because it'll tear that paint just a hair. And just take a sharp tool and go in there and kiss it a little bit, cut those down. But yeah, that's about where you want to go with that. Let's here. How are we doing on time, Chris? His safety minute kind of put me in a time crunch. Yeah. Not ready for Broadway theater, are you? And that's all you got. Any questions? I mean, anybody have any? I mean, in a nutshell, that's about all it is. Black lacquer. Yeah, the cling wrap. If you just get you a roll of it, just any type of cling wrap, saran wrap, cling wrap. And I had in here, if you have trouble spinning it, I always take a wet sponge, just something a little tacky, and get in there and give you something to twist that cling wrap with. And you want that cling wrap to kind of drag that paint around and give it your coating. That's basically your brush. So anything else? Anybody? Well, the biggest one that I have is you don't really know until you get it dried is overlapping too much of the paint. That's the key. You got to be able to be just thin enough to where it'll show through, or you'll get that big white cloudy mess in the middle. So if that ever happens, just sand it off, re-lacquer it, and go right back over. I mean, you're not really back to square one. You just start from the lacquer part. I use the red, blue, gold, and I believe I had the green, blue. Yes, here I'll pass a few of them around. Yeah, they come out like a creamy pearlescent. Yeah, these are the ones I purchased already mixed. No, the pouring medium is already added to this one. Yeah. You can get these. I think sometimes they'll have them on sale. You can get them for $4 to $5 a bottle. And that'll do probably a half a dozen or more of those. You can tell I hardly even touched what I put in there. And those dishes are only, the size of a quarter. So, you grab you one of those and you can I bet I've done 2 or 3 with a full dish of each one of those. The only texture I've tried is when I've had to resand it. I got it down to where it had a little bit of I used like a 60 grit and it got a little bit of the old black lacquer on there. I just sprayed over the top of it and gave it, that base coat down below. And heck, I think we sold it at the Irish Fest. We sold 2 of them. And if you make one of these, take Ed with you. He's the salesman for him. Yes. Yeah. Now you can wipe the back of it that you don't spray paint or do any of the texture, but for the paint on there, you got to use the spray rattle can. For some odd reason, it'll, like Ed said, it'll take it. Not as well as the lacquer. Water-based lacquer, I haven't tried it. Not to say it wouldn't work. It's acrylic paint, so you got to take that into consideration. when you're spraying a water base on top of it. Anything else? I guess we're good on time, aren't we?
You're doing great. Let's all give Larry a hand. He did a great job.
What do you want for your challenge?
You didn't throw anything off the lathe, though. Come on.
No, you made me nervous
Yeah.
watching all your accidents. So
Okay,
I got a
good.
little
Then it
touchy
worked.
there.
Then it worked. Yeah, I was throwing them off the lathe left and right on Saturday.
What a hack. So for the challenge, what would you like?
No, the challenge is up to
Anything-
you, Larry.
Anything painted with that? Jack, do you have that picture? I think it's 7 or 8. I think it's 8. It's got a picture of the box that Sean has. You can do it with anything. You saw that top I did. And then this is a lidded box. I did one for Sean it was the Christmas gift, wasn't it? The exchange. Yeah, anything that you can get a flat surface, or you might even try. My next thing is to do it with a hollow form.
Oh, yeah.
So we're gonna try that out. What you'll do is you just take and paint it, and then turn it on down to your like a ribbon.
Oh, okay.
So that way you don't ruin anything else either side of it. Yeah, that one there, you can see up in the top corner, I got a little heavy handed with the gold. And I mean, that's the only thing. That gold looks great, but you will.
It can take over.
Yeah, it can take over. So if you got somebody that's a Tiger fan or something, black and gold, they can leave it like that. But, that gives me a bad taste in my mouth. I think that's about all I've got for you, unless you guys have anything. The one I did at the Irish Fest, it was like I think I did it out of something like an oak, maybe. And if it's a porous wood, you can see the grain a little bit more through it than you can like cherry. And you get that texture from that open grain or that end grain kind of. But yeah, if that happens, just add a little bit more lacquer to it. Give it a smooth job. Yes. Now that what I've been told is it has to be a dark color, because it'll kind of make that color turn out the way they have it on the bottle. It can be done if you did it. I mean, not a bright candy red, but
Blood
like
red.
a burgundy colored red, it probably would look a little better. I mean, it's just going to change the shade of the paint that you put on top of it. But yeah, my only chime, I mean, I've only used black. I've got a navy blue at home that I did for a baseball bat, but it'd probably work. I can't think of anything else you would.
So if you put those same colors on a blue background,
it's going to give you a whole different color
color range than on the black background.
Because you might put that red on there and it might add a little shade of purple to
Sure.
it.
Okay.
You got to kind of look at your color wheel and make sure you're getting your colors just right where you want it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
Good demo. Finished product in the end in 40 minutes. You did good. Way to go.
In that turning, I mean, you're not doing much in that turning process. I mean, you're turning it around, dishing the back end and putting your recess in there. And that's maybe a half hour if you're slow like the rest of us. Anthony, maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you can, like I said, you can do a bowl blank with it. If you got a bowl blank, if you want to burn a whole bowl. But most of mine, I just went to Metro and got the biggest piece of 6/4 cherry that they had, thickness. Go to town on it. Yeah, so just anything with that paint surface decoration. It doesn't have to be the interference, just whatever you have.
Kind of introduce the paint into your project.
Exactly.
Okay.
I think you can handle it.
All right. That's our challenge for next month. Thank you, Larry.
Oh, you're welcome.
With that, I got one more announcement that I forgot to mention. After we're done with the meeting tonight, if we can get a few people to help move some of the equipment back into place for the woodworkers tomorrow, that would be great. I think we've done it every week, so just keep that up, keep us around. And with that, I'll go into a 10-minute refreshment break, And the refreshments are right around the backside here. So go help yourself.